120 in 2023. Reduction of 18.5% or 26 lives saved right across the St. Catherine North Division. Shown here also a reduction in shooting. There was a reduction in all major crimes for the division, with the exception of larceny, where we are seeing an uptick in larceny, and plans are well afoot to reduce incidents of larceny for 2024. Right, so continue, and then we are further breaking down in these per stations, because I'm sure that on the platform you have persons that are of the rural part of the division and some persons are of the urban part of the division. And so we did a further breakdown to show you the performance of the different stations and their communities right across the division. And so we must pause to pretty much commend Bronzal Station and their communities, and Above Rocks Station and their communities, because if you look at the chart now, you will realize that they came out scratch-free for 2023 with no murders. And we continue to commend the citizens of these stations and their precincts, and continue to encourage them to continue to have these wonderful records right into 2020. I will continue into 2024. So, high commendation for the communities of Bronzal Police Station and the communities of Above Rocks Police Station, and also to their commanders. And we all know the commander. The station commander for Bronzal is Sergeant Hutchinson, and the station commander for Above Rocks is Sergeant Wallace. And I think they are also on the platform, so you'll get to discuss and ask questions of them. But if you also look at the chart, you will realize that Spanish Town, where lies our main problem, our problems, for the total is 68, which is more than 50% than the number of murders committed for St. Catherine North Division. And so we continue to build out strategy to reduce murders in Spanish Town and its environs, and followed by Linstead Zone also, with a total of 16 for 2023. And this pretty much is the breakdown and comparison of murders for the last 10 years, basically, for the division. And if you realize that in 2019, we had a very good figure there, where it was 92 in total for the year. And if you remember that in 2019, right through the year, we had the state of emergency for St. Catherine North Division. And so I believe the performance that we are seeing here for 2023 is an indication that we can reduce and continue to reduce using the 2019 as a benchmark. And why I believe that my police personnel has done very well for 2023 is that we didn't have a 1 year of state of emergency or any other outside phenomenon. It was sheer hard work, partnership with the citizens of the St. Catherine North Division. This is the comparison as shown here, breakdown for the last year in terms of month for murders. If you realize that, we did very well in the first quarter of 2023. I keep on reminding my team of the figure, 685, 685, a total of 19 murders for the entire first quarter for 2023. And so those figures are admirable, and we want to continue to work towards, pushing down the murder figures for the division. And so this is really pretty much the breakout per month as shown here in comparison to the figures for 2022. This is a comparison of shooting, pretty much similar to what you are seeing for murders for 2023. We try our very best to reduce right throughout the year in comparison to the figures observed for 2022. There's a classification for the murders for the division, and I'm sure that my crime officer is on the platform, and he, after the presentation, will delve some more into this. But if you realize, looking at the figures, comparing the figures of 2023 with 2022, you will realize that gang-related murders continue to be the main problem for the division as it relates to murders and major crimes. I seek to insert this slide because I don't want us to just keep on looking on the history, although the history is very important in order to plan for the future. And I also want to keep you up to speed as it relates to some of the current situations that the division is presently facing and have been crafting strategy. So we continue to have the tension in and around Spanish Town environment, communities like Top Banks and Dallas Lane. And we have been, employing, level 2 policing, occupying the spaces in terms of, our foot patrols and our mobile patrols in these communities. Linstead Town Center, we know the challenges there. We had some challenges in the second quarter of last year in Linstead Town Center, where had a murder in the town center and also in the market. And so we continue to treat the Linstead Town Center, to include the market, as the #1 priority for the Linstead zone. Homestead, just recently, into the last part of the year, we had the breakout of violence in Homestead here, gang warfare, as was said. We have done a lot of work down there. Kudos to our operation officer and team. We have in custody 3 main players for this year, but there are some players outstanding, and as the presentation continues, we'll see there are some players outstanding for this community, and we will continue with our pursuit operation and also to occupy the space to assure some normalcy within the Homestead community. Because just since the start of the year, the division absorbed 6 murders since the start of the year. And 50% of these murders are from the Vickers Old Harbor Road, 46A Old Harbor Road area. And that again is the #1 priority as we speak for the division, because we want to ensure that we bring that space to normalcy. We have the name of quite a few players down there, violence producers. We are pursuing these violence producers, and we're also keeping fixed these community in terms of giving the assurance to the citizens there with our round-the-clock presence of our foot and our mobile patrol system in these communities. Fraser's Content is another area that we are paying some attention to, because when we look at the stats last year, we realize that Fraser's Content will have impacted on our stats, and so we are being proactive this year by having presence in these communities. Geisel did excellent last year. However, since the start of the year, we have 2 incidents, major crimes. We have 2 murders in Geisel communities. And so that's a no-no for us because Geisel is usually a very quiet and peaceful farming community. And so we have crafted a strategy specifically for Geisel just by discussing. We were up there last week, Thursday, just by discussing with residents and also the police personnel, the station commander, Sergeant McTavish, and we'll be rolling out those strategies to ensure that Geisel is keep fixed for 2024. Right, so we just want to look quickly on some of the successes for last year. I didn't want to draw the presentation, it's lengthy, a lot of successes for last year, but I just extract a few of the successes for last year that I think we need to make mention of. 57 firearms recovered right across the division last year, and 617 rounds seized last year compared to 62 for the year before, 1,050 rounds for the same period in 2022. So must commend the team for the hard work in the seizure of firearms right across the division. And you know, most of these firearms would have been seized in Spanish Town and its environs. This is the breakdown of firearms recovered across the division, the different caliber as shown here. Right, this is just a chart showing the synopsis of the activities, operational activities that we have been involved in right throughout the year of 2023 as shown here. Whole heap of operational activities as shown here. But if you realize, I have highlighted this one here, warrant executed, because we believe that, you know, some more work and some more effort should be plugged in the execution of warrant. And so we have crafted a strategy as it relates to warrant execution. Every week we will have what we call a warrant execution day, in which all stations and all sections within the division will be involved in the execution of warrants. And I tell you that we have started well, and it has been going on well since the start of January to up to date. We have executed 51 warrants across the division. And so we want to beat this figure quickly within the first quarter of this year. And so we definitely will be pushing out some effort in the execution of these warrants. Just to mention, a total of 37 convictions for 2023, resulting from 7 major crimes. And this is a good figure. And we all know of the famous trial and the conviction of some clans member in 2023. And so quick recap that murders reduced by 18.5, run of 19%, 43% were gang-related, shooting reduced by 22%, rape reduced by 43%, robbery reduced by 29%, break-ins reduced by 15%, and as I've said, we have seen an uptick in larceny, incidents of larceny. This is a notable arrest for the division, as shown here. Kerry Rutherford, OC Madwan, OC Kerry, was arrested and subsequently charged on October 12, 2023 for the murder of American national Shernet Aman, committed in September 2023. He was also charged on October 16, 2023 for the murder of a Chinese national, as shown here, committed in July 2018. And the investigation in this pretty much continues because we are of the belief that he was involved in other crimes right across the division. And I'm sure that the crime officer will be able to update you as the investigation progresses. Just a synopsis of some of the wanted persons that we were hunting, pretty much right across the division. And these persons captured and charged: Conroy Johnson, charged for the offense of murder, as shown there. Radcliffe Perry. This, I must say, commendation to the joint partnership with Evil, JCF social media platform, that we got information as soon as this person was placed on the social media platform, got some information, we act on the information, and so he was captured. Kimo Bloomfield was also captured, charged for the offense of murder. Paul Green, and for the offense of burglary and larceny. And the list continues here for the different persons captured right across the division. Kevin Fletcher, OC Tippy, that have been creating some mayhem in the zone 2 of the division, the Linstead belt, was also captured. And Shamar McDonald, OC Chinaman, was captured and charged for the offense of murder also. Now, the St. Catherine North Division was involved and continued to be involved in a wide range of community engagement activities. And so we are high on that because we believe it is with a community partnership, building that trust and confidence with the community members, that we'll be able to sustain any strategy that we have crafted in the bid for reduction of crime for St. Catherine North Division. And so just to mention some of the programs that we have installed and continue to monitor right across the division. In the month of April last year, we increased the range of community engagement activities. We call it Open House Week, where we had a series of engagement, family and friends, fun day, family empowerment forum, of which we are a part of now, because this is the first iteration for the year of our family empowerment program, a benchmark and a program that we have started since the COVID-19. And every month we ensure to have a family empowerment program that seeks to address and discuss issues impacting the division. And I continue to encourage you all to be a part of this program. Join whenever the links are sent out, and invite others, because a lot of quality information are given out on the family empowerment program. We had the launch of our St. Catherine North Cadet Corps in April. We have also a program we call Upon the Corner, where, you know, the managers of the division, the section commanders, we don't put on the khaki. We seek to, you know, dress down, you know, a semi-formal way, go on the corner of these various communities, you know, involved in the domino, playing card, anything that they're doing, and also use the opportunity at the end of the lineman to bring across some of the intentions and of the division and what we want to achieve and the expectations of these communities. We had a large gospel concert in the town center last year, and it was well attended by, you know, the different communities in the Spanish Town environment, as we continue to build partnership right across the division. Just to mention some of the initiatives, school initiatives, we always, every week, you know, ensure that we visit our schools. Just to mention that we have a steady mathematics class program, which took place every Saturday afternoon on the Spanish Town station compound, where we have some success stories of persons being very successful in their CFC exam from that program. And Mr. Williams, our CSS officer, is on the platform, and he will also be able to give you some update on that. Participating a lot of career day right across the division. This was the launch of our St. Catherine North Cadet Unit. This is what we call a novel initiative, first of its kind, right across the divisions of Jamaica, where we have at the divisional headquarters here a cadet unit that meets every Saturday afternoon. This unit comprises of students from all the communities, most of the communities right across Spanish Town and St. Brian, and these persons come to us from special recommendation from the principals and guidance counselors from the different schools. We believe with this program, we can, cultivate what we call change agents for these communities across Spanish Town and environment, and we'll be able to instill some level of discipline and skills. And from the program so far, it has been very successful because we have persons matriculating into the JCF cadet program and also into JCF training. Mr. Williams is on the platform. He can give us some more information on that. Church service. And as I said, we are happy for the partnership with the churches right across the division, the pastoral fraternity. They have never said no to us. Once we reach out, they are willing to partner, and we're happy for that type of partnership. This was a picture of the gospel concert that we kept in the town center of Spanish Town. Now, this is something that we really believe in. It's another benchmark and best practice for St. Catherine North Division. We call it St. Catherine North Division Management Walkthrough. It's an opportunity where we, all the managers of the different sections, the crime portfolio, the admin, the operations, the territorial, the community, the different portal, the missing person decks, everyone, bring them out on the street into various communities, and we have walkthrough where we speak to the citizens of these communities, hear their concern, and see how best we can bring other stakeholders as close as possible to pretty much be a part of solving these concerns. It has been a success because it's an opportunity for all the sections of the division to capitalize and garner the necessary information in solving different issues for their sections. Picture of the Pandecon and the various initiatives, the community meetings, the walkthroughs are shown here, a representation of family and fun. So we also try to cater not only for our external stakeholders, but for our internal stakeholders, where we seek to have every year, and this year it will be on the 1st of April, where we have our Family and Friends Fun Day. And if we realize we didn't just say Family Fun Day, it is Family and Friends Fun Day. So we also seek to invite persons right across the division with their families to mingle and interact with the police personnel and let their hair down and carry the children to participate in the St. Catherine North Family and Friends Fun Day. So this year it will be on the 1st of April, and it's right across the road there at the Prison Oval complex for the St. Catherine North Division. Promises to be bigger and better this year, and so all on the platform are invited. Right, so what we do next? What's the way forward for St. Catherine North Division? And so we continue with continued support to enhance the following initiatives. As we said, we crave for partnership. We want to continue to focus on what we call our intents or four-prong approach concurrently. And so we want to emphasize and do a lot of work around public order enforcement in our two main town centers of the division, the Spanish Town Town Center and the Lindsay Town Center especially. And we know that in order to bring these areas into normalcy and to assure public safety, it requires a lot of collaboration with various stakeholders in which we have been doing and will continue to do in our earnest way right across these two town centers especially. Number two is that of hotspot controlling. We have some communities right across the division that we call hotspots, and these are vulnerable communities that are prone to violence. You know these communities, and we don't want to leave them alone for the violence to just break out. So we are being proactive in occupying the spaces within these communities and at the same time ensure normalcy within these communities. Number three approach is that of anti-gang initiatives. It would be remiss of us for St. Catherine North Division not to pay attention to gang activities right across the division. And some of the strategies that we have crafted under this intent some of them are on a need-to-know basis, so to speak. But what I can say, we have been reaping some success, and this success is due to the collaboration and the collective effort and the support given to us by various sections across JCF, the specialized ops, the CTOC, the military compound, various sections that plays their part in the combating and fighting of gangs in St. Catherine North Division. But number four, I always say probably the most important is that of community engagement, in which we are very high on. And so we will continue to roll out a range of community partnership activities because we believe that whatever we achieve in St. Catherine North Division is by the combined effort of law-abiding citizens and the St. Catherine North police personnel. So we will continue to do that in our earnest way. I couldn't finish my presentation without showcasing some of the persons that we are hunting across the division. And if you see these persons, you need to call the police. And just a reminder that harboring of these persons is a crime. So we are asking that call the police, that you call the police as soon as any sighting of these persons. So number one on the list there, Rajiv Norman, otherwise called Dean, OC Max, wanted for murder from the Riversdale district area. Brian King, otherwise called Marlon King, from the Kissitown area, wanted for shooting. And also we have Glendon Amos, otherwise called Bull, from the Lindsay Commodore District, wanted for murder. Kenneth Hyde of Springvale District, wanted for murder also. And Gregory Ferguson, otherwise called Ruff, wanted for murder, and he's from the Marchpen Road, Spanish Town, St. Catherine area.
St. Catherine North Police is committed to serve, protect, and reassure the citizens of this division through enforcement of the commander's intent. Public order enforcement, managing activities within our town centers, Spanish Town and Linstead. Hotspot controlling, occupying spaces that are prone to violence and regular occurrences of crime. Anti-gang activities, pursue, capture, and prosecute gang members. Community engagement, building sustainable partnership with our citizens and stakeholders. This is the St. Catherine North Police.
All right, so thank you for watching and thank you for listening. And I hope that I was able to shed some information on the division performance for last year and the way forward in terms of our intents. Thank you very much.
SSP, Chairman.
Yes, speaking.
Right. Thank you so much, Sir Chambers, for that very comprehensive and well put together presentation. And I just want to say, ladies and gentlemen, that you had an opportunity there to hear from the commanding officer for the St. Catherine North Division. And you would have seen for yourself some of the statistics of from the activities carried out throughout the year 2023. And you would have seen some of the successes that the police had throughout that year. And let me first say that, believe it or not, you definitely played a role in it, because without the assistance of our residents, we, the police, can have no success or very little success in this fight against crime. And so we want to continue to encourage you to continue to partner with us daily as we carry out our core function to serve, protect, and reassure the citizens of Jamaica. And in our regard, the citizens of the St. Catherine North Division. So, ladies and gentlemen, you have sat, you have listened, and now you have an opportunity to share. So, if you have a question that you would like to ask, you can raise your hand. You can use the raise hand feature, or you can type your question in the chat. All right. Sir Chambers, gonna ask you to just stop the sharing on your part, please. Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, if anyone has a question that they would like to ask, now is the opportunity. You have the commanding officer who is on the platform. You also have several portfolio officers on the platform who are ready and waiting to answer your questions or your concerns. I want to also remind you that for persons who are unable to join this platform on Zoom, they can feel free to join using our YouTube platform. And the handle for YouTube is North CSS 83. That is North CSS 83 on YouTube. And you can like, subscribe to our channel, and there are videos posted from our family empowerment discussion that you can have access to that provide a wealth of information to you. All right, I'm seeing in the chat here from Jay. I don't know if you want to unmute your mic. Go ahead and ask your question.
My name is Henry. Can you hear me?
Yes, good evening.
Good evening, sir. I have two questions that I want to ask my honorable police officers. Okay, St. Catherine North. I cannot understand why is it that Spanish Town is known as St. Catherine North when you have Linstead, you have Yorton, and you have even Shady Grove, as the case might be. Why is it the North stop at Spanish Town?
All right. Henry, you said your name is?
Yes, sir.
Right. So as a matter of fact, all those stations that you called are a part of the St. Catherine North Division. Spanish Town is just the headquarters station. So all those stations that you mentioned, Linstead, Bogwalk, Yorton, we have Guys Hill, we have Glengough, Above Rocks, Brownsall, Point Hill, Shady Grove, Green Acres, and several others that all fall under the St. Catherine North Division. So it's not just Spanish Town. Spanish Town is just the headquarters station for the division. So I hope that shed some clarity for you, Henry.
It did, yes, but I would want to hear like there's a central, St. Catherine Central, you know, and then you have the North after you pass Flat Bridge. But anyway, since that's how it is, we can't change it, eh?
That's right. That's right. We can't change it. That's how it is.
The question is, maybe I should be directing this question to the Minister of Security, because he had planned to build a super police station in Spanish Town, somewhere off the Spanish Town bypass there, to take care of the population, so to speak. Can you say anything on that subject?
I cannot say. I don't know of what you speak. I don't know if the SSP would be able to shed any light on that, Sir Chambers.
Yes, so there's plan still in the pipeline for the building of what we call the Spanish Town Divisional Headquarters and also Area 5 Headquarters right there across from Tire Warehouse and the gas station on the Spanish Town bypass.
Oh, I see that you're being cleared, but wow.
Right. Well, the reason why you see the area being cleared is that you soon have what we call the groundbreaking ceremony somewhere in the first quarter.
I look forward to that with much anticipation. But my final question to you, sir. I want to believe that there needs to be a station between Spanish Town and Old Harbour, given the fact that the population has risen in that area. And when you consider new housing schemes going up at Sunrise, Sun something like that, Sun Silver City or whatever it name. Then you have Spring Village. Right now, the Spring Village Bridge is inaccessible because you can't do a patrol like that. And so I want to believe that there should be a station or even a holding area between, because from time to time, violence erupts in those areas. And I think it's too much for the police to leave from Old Harbour as well as Spanish Town to get into these areas. What do you say?
Yes, sir. And I can tell you part of the modernization will involve those things because just last week I happened to be a part of a meeting in which they are looking at the police posts and we have been setting up and how best they can be redesigned into better police posts, so to speak, with the whole intention of having police posts in all of these communities that you're speaking of, not just for St. Catherine North Division, but right across the entire country of Jamaica, where we see that it's in terms of population, some areas are getting very dense. The population density is noted,
Yes.
and other schemes for these areas. So it's something that I'm sure that will roll out in the future, because I know that headquarters are looking into those things.
I want to say thank you, sir. But my final question would be, is there any plans to increase the population of district councils, please?
Oh, yes. Yes, definitely. And not you alone have been asking for that. The last discussion is that we will soon and very soon start recruiting district councils again to expand the rural force, the district council of JCF.
Thank you so much, sir. God bless you. God bless JCF. God bless you.
Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your questions and for your participation, Henry. But I also want to share another bit of information with you. As you were talking about the different areas and stations, what we have done here in St. Catherine North Division is we have divided our stations into zones. So we have 4 zones, and within each zone, we have a cluster of stations that are within that zone. So for when you were mentioning Yuaton, Bogwalk, Linstead, those stations fall under zone 2. So those stations have been put in a cluster, so to speak, and there's a commander who has responsibility for zone 2, and that will be DSP Blake, Deputy Superintendent Blake. She is the one who has responsibility for the zone 2 area. And there's also someone for zone 3, zone 1, and zone 4 as well. So what we have done is we have tried to, as best as possible, manage our space by minimizing to a certain degree the responsibility of officers or portfolio officers so that they can manage a smaller space and be more effective in that way. Okay, Henry?
Thank you so much, sir.
You're
God,
welcome.
God bless you. Well, what is the police attending church and all these things, you know, man? We need to
Yes,
say,
man, we do.
yes,
We
man.
do. As if you were looking at the presentation, you'd have seen where there are several photos of the police in church. And one of the things that we do here in our division is that every month, every single month, we have a virtual devotion program here where we have a church host our devotion program for us. As a matter of fact, for the start of this year, what we did was we had a divisional church service here on the compound of the Spanish Town Police Station. And we invited persons from several different churches as well as several different stakeholders who came in and were a part of that devotion. So believe me, Henry, we are very much in touch with the spiritual side because we know that we cannot do this on our own. We need divine intervention to help us in this fight.
I know that Spanish Town is lively on that, you know. But, you know,
That's right.
I remember as a kid growing up where the police used to visit schools and give direction and chats about crossing the street and all these type of things. What is it those things continue again? You know,
All
and
right.
more foot patrols and all these type of things. You
All
know,
right. Thank you.
let the president defend, you know.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Henry.
Thank you so much, sir. God bless.
All right. So, Jay, I see you posted in the chat that you have a question. You can unmute your mic and go ahead.
Hello?
Jay?
Hello? Are you hearing me?
Yes, you are being heard.
Good night. Question.
You might want to turn your volume up a little bit, Jay. We're having a little bit of difficulty hearing you.
Okay, hold on. Hello? Hello?
Yes, we're hearing you, Jay.
All right. How should a police officer operate in the regard? For example, if they actually knew someone, the person say, for sake of a business, someone took something from the person who have a business. However, the police won't get intervention. It's a suspension. Up top as in seriously, as in unpleasant.
All right, Jay, we're serious. We're really having a challenge hearing you. I'm not sure if you're using an earphone or what, but you're coming through very muffled, and we're not able to hear you clearly.
Okay, hold on.
Yes, hello?
Yes, hearing you much better.
Okay, good. All right, I am saying now, for example, so what is police is here to do? Is it to serve and protect or tear down resident?
Most certainly to serve and protect, Jay.
Huh?
I am saying most certainly, most definitely, we are here to serve and protect every citizen of Jamaica.
Okay, and because I am actually in a situation, I even have to move from where I used to live to elsewhere. Reason being, I was working with a pharmaceutical company, and I was having a little financial issue, and I actually asked for some help from somebody. However, I would have to pay like a little interest rate and thing, and I didn't pay it on time. And he have informed the person who I took the money from. He had informed a off duty police officer who was also on suspension, and he also came to my house, remove all my stuff from my house. should it actually go that way or what? Because I don't really know because it's the very first time I have seen that happen with my eyes.
All right, Jay.
Yes, I'm here.
All right, your issue sounds like something that we would have to look into a little bit deeper. So what I'm going to ask you to do, I'm going to
Yes.
give you a number and you are going to send via WhatsApp your information to that number. And what we will do is we'll be
Okay.
able to get in touch with you and we'll be able to assist in looking into your situation. Okay?
Okay. Because he also have mentioned that say if I should go to the Spanish Town police station to report him, he will make a call to a specific person in a specific gang. As a
All right,
police, you should not look on a civilian and saying that.
right.
And
And
so when
we want to,
I reported at the police station, and before I even mention the situation, I have called the police officer name to a senior police officer who is at the Spanish Town station. And before me even finish, a police officer said, him again, in the suspension and him a BFS again.
all right, Jay,
That means I am that means I am not the first victim.
Jay, are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm here.
All
Yes, I'm
right,
here.
what I'm saying to you now, Jay, I'm going to give you a number. I'm going to type it in the chat. And what you can do is you can use that number. You're going to send your information to that number. And that way
Okay.
we can get in touch with you so that we can do the necessaries as it relates to looking into your situation. We have persons on the platform who are hearing and who will be able to treat with your situation as best as possible or as law requires. All right. So I'm going to post that number
Okay.
in the chat shortly, and you can take it
Okay.
down and WhatsApp your information to that number, and we'll be able to look into your situation for you. All right? Because we want to
Not a
ensure
problem.
that as police officers, we are operating at the highest level of professionalism and with our citizens' best interests at heart. All right, Jay?
Okay, not a problem.
Wonderful. Thank you so very much. All right, I see
Yeah,
a
yeah.
hand raised, Devon Smith. Mr. Smith, you can unmute your mic and go ahead.
Thank you very much, sir. Let me say good evening to everyone on the platform.
Good
Devon
evening.
Smith here from the Linstead Community Development Committee and the Rotary Club of North St. Catherine. Let me really say I appreciate this meeting, the fact that we can gather in this forum to discuss issues concerning our communities and us as stakeholders. But I really want to use this moment to reflect and to send our condolences on retired DSP Cleveland Wood, who has served in at the Linstead Police Station with distinction. During his time, he was very much involved in our community activities here in Linstead, and we continue to have good relationships with the Linstead Police Station. So condolences on behalf of the Linstead Community Development Committee, which is next door to the Linstead Police Station, to all his colleagues and of course his family. Thank you very much.
Right. We most certainly thank you for that, Mr. Smith. Thank you so very much for that. And yes, indeed, retired Deputy Superintendent Hood was an integral part of this division, and he played many roles and would have served well. And so we thank you so very much for that recognition from the Linstead CDC. And
Thank you.
Thank you as well. All right, Miss Kildare, Miss Rochelle Kildare, you have your hand raised. Please unmute your mic and go ahead.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Good evening. A question. Is there a traffic arm assigned to the police station? Are there anybody Are there police officers who man traffic within or the traffic flow within Spanish Town?
Yes, there certainly are persons from our traffic division who monitor the flow of traffic within within Spanish Town.
Okay, the reason why I ask is that well, most persons, or if not all persons, would attest to the fact that in the evenings when we're coming home, coming through Central Village around to Jose Marti, the traffic is solid. I see no policemen, especially when you make that corner coming to Twickenham Park, where the police academy is, where the
Right.
persons make 3 and 4 and 5 lanes and try to jostle their way in front of you. And I'm sure everybody knows that when one person forces their way in front of you, it pushes you back by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars. Now, I don't see any policemen out there, and the police academy is right there. And I was saying, even if they were to utilize some of the almost graduated trainees to man the traffic out there, that's an easy fix. But I don't see it, to the point I'm so frustrated, to the point where I drive through Portmore to get home because it takes me the better part of half an hour to 45 minutes just to maneuver that space. Which is why I asked if there was a traffic arm. And if I do see police, might I add, they put on the flashers and they pass everybody and they're about their business. So my recommendation is between the hours of 4 and maybe 6:30, or as the need arises, they are out there in their numbers so that people can see that if you just stay where you are, you will get where you're going. That's it for
Oh,
me.
thank you so very much for that recommendation, Miss Kildare. And I want to say to you that that has been noted. And as we speak, there is a plan that is being put in place to us to assist with that. As a matter of fact, I can tell you that up to last night, I was in dialogue with some persons from the traffic department who were in fact out there managing the traffic in the evening. And persons were asking them what was happening on the road. But the reality is that as it stands now, St. Catherine is the fastest growing parish in the Caribbean. And Old Harbor is currently the fastest growing uh, city in the Caribbean as well. And with all the housing developments that are taking place, it is easy to understand why there is going to be an influx of traffic from persons traveling from Kingston, heading into Old Harbor and even into the surrounding communities of Spanish Town. The truth is that there is not much that we can do about that. However, your recommendation is noted, and there is a plan that is being crafted now to assist with better monitoring of the traffic. I also want to say, though, that we do have constraints where resources are concerned. And so therefore, that is something that poses a little bit of a challenge as well. But as best as possible, we're going to try to do our part in remedying that situation. So thank you very much for your recommendation, Miss Kildare. And DSP Toms, I see your hand up. You can unmute your mic and go ahead. And DSP Toms is our operations officer here in the St. Catherine North Division. Sir Toms? All right. All right. So it seems as though we have lost DSP Toms there. So Nerys Hines Wilson, you can go ahead. Good evening to you. Unmute your mic and go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Following up on what Ms. Kildare spoke, and I didn't hear everything, but I am coming from the Bellevue Heights area, traversing the St. John's Road, heading into Kingston. I have a serious problem with motorists who will not wait their turn. there are a couple of mornings where I may see a police there trying to, you know, maintain discipline. But for the most part, I don't see any police at all manning that area. And it's just willy-nilly they drive down. The motorists that are coming up in their rightful lanes, they want them to get out of the lane so they can pass. And this morning, I almost met with an accident because of my avoiding a pothole with one coming down on the right, almost hitting me. I had to swerve back in and drop myself in the pothole, not to have him hit me. So I am asking if more attention could be given to that span from Green Acres going down to the stoplight at Job Lane, more police manning to keep the motorists and especially the taxi men in line so that they know that they have to exercise care and wait their turn, as Ms. Gilder said. That's it.
All right, thank you so very much, Mrs. Hines Wilson. Do we have any traffic personnel on? I believe I saw Corporal Johnson from our traffic division on earlier. I don't know if he's still on the platform.
Yes, sir, Fidel. I'm still here, sir, Fidel.
Wonderful, wonderful. So I don't know if you're taking note of the complaints and recommendations of our citizens here. Do you have anything that you can share with them to shed some light on the situation for them?
All right. As it relates to the traffic along St. John's Road there coming from Green Acres, the ACP in charge of P-Step, he would have sent a team every morning to man that area there. So there's always a team to man that area there in the morning and also in the evening. As it relates to Greendale Main Road and from Osemati coming up to Burke Road, as well as from Osemati along the bypass straight up to the Hull Harbour roundabout and to Hull Harbour Road. What we do, we have to patrol that section there. However, we are from the Hull Harbour roundabout also towards back to Osemati. So we have to do a patrol from both the areas, because what happens is that the traffic is heavy in the evenings. So we can't stay one place. So we have to keep patrolling. However, that little section there from the Osemati roundabout up to the training school, we patrol and we prosecute as we go along. However, when we stay at a particular area, we'll find out that the motorists are committing the offense as they pass and go in the direction. So we have to keep on patrol in order to patrol and prosecute. Because once you stay one place, you're going to have the same type of driving occurring further down. So most of the time, they will see us patrol and we prosecute and we move along. Patrol, prosecute, move along. That's all we have to do. Because if we stay one place, the same motor is going to have problems as he pass the police and go to another area. So for us to move and patrol and prosecute, it's much better than to stay in one area.
All right, thank you so very much, Corporal Johnson, for shedding some light on that situation for our citizens here. And as you know, citizens, it is a continuous effort that we have to make in this regard. The reality is that there is not much we can do about the traffic situation as it stands now. However, we will continue to do our part as best as possible to alleviate some of the challenges that you have whilst you traverse on a daily basis. All right, so hopefully in future you'll be able to travel a little bit smoother. All right, I do see in the chat Mr. Dennis Robotham, and he is the chairman for the Spanish Town Chamber of Commerce. Mr. Dennis Robotham, good evening to you, sir. You can unmute your mic and go ahead.
Hi, good evening to all.
Right.
SSB
So good evening, Sir Robotham. All right, we are hearing you a little bit low. So if you could just turn your volume up a little bit for us. And we're asking persons, please use the raise hand feature so that you can be easily identified when you have a question, right? Just use the raise hand feature so that we'll be able to identify you and you'll get your opportunity to speak. Thank you. It's over to you, Sir Robotham.
Hi, how you doing? Good evening all.
Good evening.
I just firstly want to congratulate St. Catherine North SSB Chambers and the entire team. You know, I was listening to all the different things that you're trying to initiate, you have initiated and doing an excellent job in the social aspects of all the things, and you ought to be congratulated on that. I feel that the chamber wants to be involved a little more in those areas that we can be of assistance in any way we can, you know, and I think that we ought to liaison with each other more in depth so we can, you know, have a deeper cooperation with that sort of interaction. So I was listening on and I had some notes on the traffic situation, SSP. I had some of those and I had some discussions with the mayor, and I think we have to go deeper into it. I was just thinking to make look at one way during peak hour on Burke Road and Barrett Street and um St. Jago, Fort Henderson Road, and those roads need to be looked at in depth and get works agency, national work agency involved to see how we could deal with one ways in the evenings and mornings, that sort of thing, and see how best we could intertwine some of these areas into one ways at certain peak hours to make it happen. But I cooperate with some of the previous speakers in terms of the taxmen. Boy, they seem to be able to do willy-nilly what they please like to do. Brunswick Avenue is one of those roads that I mean, they're not even drive slow. They speed on a third or fourth lane, if you want to call it. And the opposite traffic have to take to the bushes or to the sidewalk to allow them to go down. I think we need to take some more drastic action where these taxi and minibus men are concerned. I think we have to really deal with them seriously because they seem to be getting worse every day, and it's something that SSP and myself have spoken about on a number of occasions, and you know we need to look at it. I need to also congratulate you, sir. I see that there's a particular officer that you sent to Cumberland Road that is doing a little traffic thing. We probably need to step it up a bit, but he has been doing an excellent job. I forget his name at this time. I will get it to you. But I think he ought to be commended for trying to keep that area up to the market and up to St. John's Road and Brunswick Avenue in a more orderly way. But I think we need to see if we can, you know, step it up somewhat. But I think kudos to you, sir. Yeah, making some efforts since Christmas. I see a number of areas are being addressed, and we ought to commend you and big up your team for the job that you are doing. We will meet and discuss further. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much there, Sir Robotham. And, you know, we are always happy to partner with the Chamber of Commerce, with one of our stakeholders here in the St. Catherine North Division, as we continue to work together as best as possible to meet the needs of our citizens. And as usual, you know, we are noting the issues and the complaints as it relates to the traffic situation. And as we indicated earlier, there is something that is being crafted to see how best we can assist in alleviating some of the stress and pressures that is being caused by this traffic pileup and you know the influx of traffic throughout the space. All right, so thank you so very much, Sir Robotham. I do see here, JS, you have your hand raised. You can unmute your mic and go ahead.
Good evening, thank you. Thank you for the invitation and thank you for this forum. Smith from Linstead. I have a similar concern with the traffic congestion for Linstead, and it seems to be caused by the one-way and the mud taxiderm. And the traffic is typically, of course, in the peak hours, but then it goes right through the day because the bottleneck created at the entrance of Linstead Town. One of the issues I'm also having is that the taximen, of course, do their own thing. And like the gentleman said before, they seem to obey a law unto themselves. But I don't see any policing during these peak hours. So they are allowed to do their own thing. They break the one way, they let off in the middle of the road, and they tend to compound the issue already created by the one way. So I'm also asking, has the one way in Linstead been assessed to see how feasible it is since it has been implemented? Because it seems to be creating more of a pile-up than helping to alleviate the traffic in the town itself.
All right, JS, we have on the platform here Inspector Wayne Constantine, who is the sub-officer in charge of the Linstead Police Station. Sir Constantine, you want to chime in here and provide some feedback to JS? And I believe we also have on the platform DSP Blake, who is a Zone 2 commander for that area as well.
All right, good evening all.
Good evening to you, Sir Constantine.
All right, so we have been having discussions with the Linstead Town Center committee as relates to as also the parish council as relates to these the one way between Fletcher's Avenue and 4th Street. Is that why you make a mention of sir?
To be honest, all the one ways that have recently been created, the one way for King Street that has been created right in front of the Scotia Bank, the one way, all of them. Because matter of fact, if you go on all the roads that lead into Linstead Town, there is massive congestion every single day. So turning Linstead Town into a one-way, I'm questioning the sensibility of it and if it has been assessed since it has been implemented, because the fact that the congestion sometimes reaches all the way to near to Dintil Technical School one morning when people have to get to work cannot be a feasible solution to ease any kind of condition in the town.
Right, what I can assure you that there are some discussions going on around that situation there as relates to the one way, and you should be able to, you may see some changes in short order.
Okay, I really hope so. And the police, they can't start working at 9 o'clock if they want to maintain law and order. And they can't stop working at 4:30 if they wanted to continue.
No, we have persons out there on foot patrol, beat patrol from as early as 6 a.m. on a daily basis.
All right.
Surprising to me, but okay. All right, I'll take your word for it.
All right. All right.
So I look forward to it. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, Sir Constantine, and thank you so much, JS, for shedding light on that. All right, we are winding down, ladies and gentlemen. We're coming down to the close of our show for this evening, but we will take a few more questions. So if you have a question, you can go ahead and raise your hand. Lamar, I see your hand is raised, so you can unmute your mic and go ahead.
Hi, good night, everyone.
Good evening to you.
How are you? Lamar Richard from GC Foster College. My question is, pertaining to, we are all ever saying that the children, our children are our future. School, we see some of our young kids dropping out of schools. What are some of the programs they separate from? I see you guys have the thing that you guys have on Saturdays. What are some other programs can you guys implement to kind of get these youngsters out more in terms of participation, in terms of especially to even get them back into some CXC program? What in terms of some more deep partnership with the churches and the other community members in terms of getting them to do some attending some CXC program. I know at GC Foster College we offer CXC subject here. So if it would be good if there can be more partnership in terms of going into the communities, getting these youngsters, especially the females, to really come out and try to uplift themselves. Because based on my experience and interaction with most young people, all they want is someone to believe into them. Because sometimes in the household, their own family do not believe into them. So because they don't have that bucket behind them to push them to say, all right, you can do it. Yes, you feel out of high school, but you still have a lot of you still have opportunity and chances can rebound. So if we can get persons to really go into the community and tell them, say, listen, these are opportunity. You can go and try to get back some subjects. You can go to art, stuff like that. So is there any plan projects you guys have in place or plan to put together in terms of helping the youngsters,
All right, Sir Lamar. Some of the things that we have currently in place, as we indicated earlier, we have our math class that we operate here from the Spanish Town Police Station on Saturdays that is for free. So for persons who are interested in doing CXC mathematics, even for persons who are doing PEP, they can come here and they get that math class for free every Saturday, right? As we also use our police youth club programs. And through our police youth club programs, we have partnered with other agencies that our young people can actually benefit from, right? There is also currently running at the National Police College, there is now a cadet program in place where they are taking persons from 16 to 17 years old, and they are taking them, and they will be on a program for 2 years where they will be able to do CXC subjects. And at the end of that 2 years, they will be able to decide if they want to matriculate into the JCF or if they want to venture out and do other programs that interest them. Let me also say that this is a program where they are paid monthly. So it's not that we're just providing it for persons to come and be a part just to get the education. They are also paid whilst they are doing it. One of the things that we have also tried to do is to partner with other stakeholders such as Hard Trust NTA, and we have gone into communities to actually register persons to get involved in various heart programs. And as you have indicated, now we can look forward to partnering with GC Foster to go into the communities to help our young people to get onto these programs. But the reality though, Sir Lamar, is that it's not a shortage of programs that's causing the issue. In most cases, it's a lack of interest on the part of the young people, and we cannot downplay that part. You know, there are programs out there, as you said, GC Foster, that is located right out there off Walks Road, right smack in the middle of several communities. And you guys are offering CXC subjects and persons are still not taking up the offer. So really and truly, programs are there, but persons are just not taking advantage of these programs. And I think we need to try to see how best as possible, you know, we can generate some more interest. And hopefully, you know, they'll be able to get on board with these programs and be able to develop themselves. So thank you so much for that input, Sir Lamar. All right, I did see a hand, Marsha Stone. Marsha Stone, are you there? Are you still interested in making a point? Right, Marsha Stone, are you there? Are you still interested in making a point, Marsha? All right, Nerys Hines Wilson, your hand is raised. Go ahead.
Yes, I am bringing up a point which I think I have mentioned to you before. In communities that are, I would say, regulated, like housing schemes or so on, what are the harms of the law, or how far-reaching is the police's involvement in curtailing business places or certain little cook shops and so on being put up in the communities? I am now facing one where I had mentioned to you before about a cook shop that has been disbanded. But now car wash business has sprung up in the area. That took 2 days to be built and up and running. I don't think those establishments belong in a community. I think it devalues your property and it attracts certain individuals, or in my case, it is attracting certain individuals that we would not want to be around or to have in our community. How can we mitigate against this?
All right, DSP Toms or Operations Officer. DSP Toms, are you on our platform? DSP Toms? All right, it doesn't seem we have DSP Toms on the platform. But as it relates to that, Miss Hines Wilson, as it relates to any business place, there are certain communities that are not, where business places are not allowed to operate, residential communities, right? And you have commercial communities where business places are allowed to operate. And within residential communities, business places are not allowed to operate. So if you see a business place being set up in a residential area and persons are opposed to it, then what they can do is report it to the parish council, right? That is a matter for the parish council to handle. So that is something that you would have to report to them. Okay?
Mr. Chair, may I add that
go ahead, Sir Thomas.
Yeah, I must introduce myself, Deputy Superintendent Thomas, Crime Portfolio, St. Catherine.
Right. It seems DSP Thomas, or crime officer, it seems we have lost him. He was trying to communicate something there. So as soon as he's back on the platform, we'll ask him.
Are you hearing me now? Are you hearing me, Mr. Chair?
Ladies and gentlemen, is there anyone else?
You're hearing me,
Sir
now,
Thomas.
Mr. Chair?
Sir Thomas. Yes, we hear you, Sir Thomas. Yes.
Yes. Sorry about that. I am saying, as it relates to these car washes and these cook shops, it's really the prerogative of the parish council, but we work in tandem with them. However, if you see unscrupulous persons or suspicious persons at these places, then we, the police, can act. and check it out. And the mere visiting of the police at these locations maybe will deter the person who have the car wash or have the cook shop and tell them to move. So if they are on the roadside, is the parish council, but we still can go and talk to them as the police. But it's really the municipality who has control over those illegal cook shop, also the Ministry of Health. And most of the time, these car wash steal water. So it's a lot of entity that can look into them. I hope I help you somewhat, madam.
Right. Thank you so very much for that bit of information, Sir Thomas. And that is Deputy Superintendent Balvi Thomas, and he is the crime officer for the St. Catherine North Division. So we do see a question in the chat from Jamila Thomas for asking what programs are in place for troubled students in school. Well, from our perspective, we have what is called the Safe School Program. And that is where we have police officers going into the schools, partnering with school administration to treat with students who have behavioral issues. We go in, we do parenting sessions, we do intervention sessions with students, we work with deans of disciplines, guidance counselors, and as best as possible, we try to provide mentorship for these young people, for these troubled students in schools. All right? So that is something that we have going. I see Miss Stone has now raised her hand again. Thank you for coming back, Miss Stone. You can unmute your mic and go ahead.
Hi, great night, Sir Fennel. I guess because I'm driving, I keep bumping off every minute.
Okay,
You are, as you have already, great night, everyone. My name is Marsha Stone from the Mercury Gardens Phase 2 Citizens Association. I was speaking to Inspector Williams this morning. Sir Fennel, you might be aware of a situation that we're facing in Mercury Gardens Phase 2, where there is a gentleman, there's a homeowner that lives at the front of our scheme. The developers would have bought the property with him being on the front of the entrance to our new development. He has some pig on his property, along with a lot of overgrown trees. And some of the new residents have been going to him peacefully, speaking to him, asking if he can just clean out the pig pen because it is affecting children and it is affecting adults around. And he has been very rude and disrespectful to say that he has been living on the property way before all of us, and we can't get him out. Now, we are not trying to get him out or anything like that, but he lives at the entrance to the new development, and he has a lot of overgrown trees, and the pig pen from time to time is really, really bad. Sometimes you come home in the evening, you can't even open a door. As you get out of your vehicle or you get out of a taxi, you have to immediately go inside and close up because the pig pen is so stink. And the persons who would have lived on the back end, close to where you would have had the pig pen is located, flies are around there and all of that. And we talked to him over and over, and as I said, he has been very disrespectful. I'm not sure if anybody from the public health is on the platform, but can you shed some light on what other way we can go about, or if somebody could come in and speak to him again about the situation that we're facing? Because we have a fall cup that is close by now, but it's only sometimes the fall cup kind of get really high, most like when rain falls and they're not disposing of their chickens properly. I am being told by some of the residents who live on the back end lots from like 27 down to 30.
All right, Ms. Stone, it seems that we have
38 thereabout. Dispose of probably the dead chicken. We can know about it.
Right. So
You
as it
hearing me?
relates to that situation, Ms. Stone, that is one that is primarily dealt with by the Public Health Authority. And so I would recommend making a report to the Public Health Authority on that situation. However, as from our end, from the CSS end, we might be able to come in and see how best we can speak with that resident and see how we can mediate that situation and see if we can have it handled as quickly as possible. But I would certainly recommend that a report be made to the Public Health Authority so that they can come in and do their job as it relates to treating with that situation, especially with that pig pen situation. We know that overgrown trees and shrubs can create a safety risk for persons, as it can obscure a person's view. And so it is important for those also to be cut. And so from our end, we'll come in and see how best we can speak with him and see how we can assist with this. But I'm still asking that a report be made to the Public Health Authority in this regard. All right, Ms. Stone. So thank you very much for your contribution and for your question. All right, we are pressed for time, and therefore, go ahead, Sir Thomas.
I'm wondering relative to that complaint of that pig pen, if when we attend to the location and make our assessment, if we as the police can also push something to the Ministry of Health. So this is a complaint, this is a sore point, and we are asking it to be addressed speedily. So with the complaint of the citizen and our observation after making our assessment, I think maybe that will push it further. What do you think? Yes.
Most certainly, say it, Sir Thomas. So when we go there and we do our assessment, then we'll be able to make recommendations as well to the Public Health Authority there.
Great.
We know that our word can sometimes carry a little bit more weight than that of the average citizen. So thank you so very much for that recommendation.
May I say something before you close?
Honestly, Sir Fennell, one question. I didn't hear it because they bumped off again, but I don't know if Sir Fennell can probably pass the information on to me afterwards because I didn't hear anything. Nothing at all.
Not a problem, Ms. Stone. Not a problem. That will be done.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yes, Sir Thomas, you can go ahead.
Yes, just to say to members on the platform that it is very good to see that we have kept this meeting for over 2 hours or close to 2 hours. And I have heard no complaint about crime. I see that the issues affecting are mostly traffic congestion and maybe some community issues. And that is good, because I've been in the division for some time now, and I realized that sometimes St. Catherine North is the wrong picture of St. Catherine North is out there. The picture is that if you come to Spanish Town and shop as an innocent person, you will be killed or shot at or something like that. But I can safely say that St. Catherine North is becoming safer. When you look at our brother division, St. Catherine South, I think for 2023, they had some more gruesome crime than us. The Millennium, the murder of the gentleman from GC Foster in their space. And I am saying, if we keep this partnership going, then maybe by next year, you'll find persons moving from other division to St. Catherine North. And I'm serious about it. So that is my little piece. I was listening to see that if any question would be thrown to me as it relates to crime. And I am happy to see that none is forthcoming. The gentleman who mentioned the officer that is plaguing him, I know Mr. Fennell will definitely refer him to me and we'll retreat with this. We don't accept those type of behavior from our members. So as soon as we get that complaint, we'll address the matter. Thank you, Mr. Fennell, and good evening. Thanks to the members on the platform.
Thank you so very much, Sir Thomas. Always a pleasure having you on and working with you. And yes, once the information is sent to us for that officer, that information will be passed on so the requisite investigations and the necessary action can be taken. All right, so Jay, I do hope that you're seeing the contact that was shared in the chat for the CSS office. So I hope you're seeing it so you can send the information to that number and we'll be able to assist with treating with that situation. All right, I see 2 hands raised, and these are the last 2 hands that we're going to be taking. First, we'll take Miss Marsha Moody, followed by Claudette Howell. So Marsha Moody will go, followed by Claudette Howell. All right, Jay, I see where you're saying that you did not see the number. Please check the chat. I have sent it to you, but I will send it in the chat again. All right. So Miss Moody, you can unmute your mic and go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Fennell. Good night, everyone. Just to commend, I came on the platform a little late, so I did not get to see the full presentation done by SSP Chambers. But for the bit that I catch, I must say, very good job, Sir Chambers and your team. Being as a Justice of the Peace for the North Division, the St. Patrick North Division, part of the division, I can also be identified with some of the successes he spoke about during my little stint I did there in the earlier part of last year, which was a fulsome an experience as something that I would have done over again. And you know, the situation with us as residents or citizens of the division, we need to throw our weight more behind our division and give the full support in whatever capacity we can, and to help the success to be even bigger and better. A bigger report come 2024 when we have this kind of gathering. One more thing that I would like to highlight, I listened to the traffic situation. I am also plagued and annoyed at what I see plays out before me in the evenings when I'm coming home. I will not go too deep into it, but just something I want to highlight, just to show how some of these motorists have no regard for their fellow motorists. One evening last week, I was coming home, and as I entered the roundabout at Ozemati, a yellow bus maybe plies the road between Portmore and Spanish Town. I didn't get to see the plate, so the route on it on the thing. And he cut across the big tree right at the roundabout there. No, there's no road across the big tree, but he came across the big tree. And when he came across the big tree, he ended up on the inside, which is on the left. And he traveled all the way up to training school, and he was stopped by a police officer. And by the time he stopped, the police officer stopped him and apparently was giving him a ticket. By the time he reached this gas station or the Petcom, another officer stopped him. And I think the officer was writing him a ticket. And I was getting some petrol. And by the time I finished getting my petrol and ended up at the hospital, another police officer stopped that same vehicle. 3 officers stopped that one bus in one night. So you see, the problem is there. It is there, and it annoys us when we have to be in line, when we have to comply, when we have to follow the rules, and there are persons out there who just do as they please. In essence, like they basically get away with it. Because I don't know the system, I don't understand the system that much, but if 2 police officers stop one motorist in one night, I think something should show up to say that this man is a violator of the Road Traffic Act. And no time is of the essence. Just one more thing that I want to highlight. My community, Mr. Fennell, the Elkham Vista community, recently we saw a concrete signpost, I call it a signpost, being erected right at the entrance of our community. And I would love for the traffic police or any member of the St. Catherine North Division to come to that community and see what is happening there and tell us as citizens if this is not a recipe for disaster. When you're coming out of the scheme to turn left or right, once you exit, once you're trying to exit, you can see the traffic coming off the Brunswick clear. So you know you can go out or what time you can exit. Now you have to push further out into the road to get clearance. And I know that something is going to happen sometime soon. And I'm praying for it. But given the kind of culture we have as citizens and of this country, I know there's going to be something that is going to happen there at my community gate, which I really don't want. So I would really love somebody to visit and tell me, as the president, tell me if this is something that we can tolerate, and if it's what it is that we can do to get to get closure or to have something workable. Because you can't just put a signpost there. Nobody came and talked to us. Nobody invited us to a meeting. Nobody said to us that this is what we are doing and to get our feedback and to get suggestions. And they erect it there and it is there and people have to be pushing out in the road in the morning to get clearance to turn. I thank you and have yourselves a good evening, everyone.
Thank you so much for those comments, Ms. Moody. And we are also happy that you did make that observation about the police prosecuting that busman. And it highlights a problem, you know, that persons have scant regard for law. You understand? And if a police has prosecuted him once, twice, 3 times in one night for the very same thing, one of the things that it tells us is that this is a person who does not care about obeying the law. And, you know, it's sad that other road users have to suffer for their actions. But we will continue to do our part, and hopefully the system will catch up on it. And that's one of the things that we are happy about, the improvements to our system now, where persons who have outstanding tickets cannot renew their driver's license unless those tickets have been paid, and where persons will be losing points from their driver's license. So the more offenses that they rack up, they are putting themselves in a position to lose their driver's license. And so hopefully as time goes by, when things get better in the system, we will see greater results. As it relates to that signpost in your area, Ms. Moody, can you say who is erecting that post?
No, Mr. Fennell, I've been asking. I contacted the CDC, the SDC office, and to find out who is responsible, and I cannot get a response. I cannot get an answer. And every day I see something new being done to the sign. It is now painted, and the name Eltham Communities is erected. It was there Saturday. Yesterday I saw they removed it. So I don't know if something was wrong with the wording or whatever. I didn't pass that side tonight. I drove in another direction. So by tomorrow I figure something else will be done to it. And it is just then we have the school next door. And the concern is we have young children. We have parents going out with their kids, children who walk the community. And some of these taximen too, they terminate right into the entrance of the scheme without any regard for the traffic coming out of the scheme. Sometimes like we're held hostage. Right?
All right, Ms. Moody.
And so my concern is that, yes, sir.
What we're going to ask you to do. Right, what we're going to ask you to do is just get in touch with us off air so we can communicate and see how best we can find out what's happening with that signpost in your area and find out who is erecting it. Because if it is being unlawfully put up, then we will have to take the necessary steps and communicate with the necessary agency to have it removed. All right, so we'll communicate off air on that one.
All right, sir.
All right, thank you so very much.
Thank you. You're welcome.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I want to say a big thank you on behalf of the commanding officer, Senior Superintendent Howard Chambers, on behalf of all the other portfolio officers who are on the platform, and on behalf of the St. Catherine North Division on a whole, we want to say a big thank you to you, our citizens, for staying on with us, for joining us. SSB Chambers, I don't know if you want to say a few closing words to our citizens before we go.
Well, just to reiterate that we intend to have a further reduction as it relates to major crimes for the division this year. And we know that it is achievable, provided that we continue to enjoy the partnership with our various stakeholders right across the division. I want to use the opportunity to once again to say thanks for your support in 2023, and we are craving a bigger and stronger support for 2024. I've heard the concerns. I'm happy that my portfolio officers contributed as it relates to traffic plan. We're presently looking at our traffic plan and tweaking some of the strategies that we have there. We're asking headquarters for some support, but as was rightfully put forward, the surrounding communities, especially in Spanish Town and Linstead, are growing at a faster pace than the town centers or the townships themselves. And so that can kind of create, the type, congestion on the main corridors. But we are milling away and we are doing the work just the same. Even today, there's a success story for today where a bus driver was charged for dangerous driving and et al. Brought before the parish court today. Same time that he was caught, he was brought before the parish court the same day today. And the result is that he was fined a total of 145,000 or 30 days in custody, and also his driver's license will be suspended for 2 years. So, we continue to do the work, and we will ensure that, especially going forward into 2024, we will ensure that we communicate, all of these success stories and regular meetings with our stakeholders so we can keep you up to pace with some of the work that we have been doing. Thank you, Sir Fernand. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Sir Chambers, and thank you for sharing that bit of information. So, ladies and gentlemen, we want you to understand that we are working, we are doing our part, and we certainly are imploring you to assist us. Whenever you see persons out there driving recklessly on the road, please feel free. If you can take the registration plate number from the vehicle and you can provide it to us, then it will be of great assistance to us, the police, as it relates to treating with these situations, right? And as SSB Chambers indicated there, one bus driver today has lost his driver's license for 2 years, and he will have to pay $145,000 or serve 30 days in prison. And so it goes to show that our efforts are bearing fruit. And we want for you to just continue to bear with us and help us in this regard, right? So once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for sticking and staying with us. Thank you for your partnership throughout 2023, and we look forward to working together and forging an even stronger bond for 2024. Have yourselves a wonderful evening, and I'm your host, Professor Fennell. Have yourself a good night.